Projection Podcast. We are here live in San Diego at the MLB Winter Meetings with Raul Gonzalez. Raul, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, getting right into it, you know, the Winter Meeting is a lot of networking events. Can you pretty much describe a little bit to the viewers on what happens at the Winter Meetings?
Well, first of all, the teams are negotiating, getting to know who's out there, who's free agent. A bunch of agents come around to network their players and looking for what team has some needs on certain position players, and they're kind of selling their product. The agents come here to sell their product. So, and you can see a bunch of coaches and in front office people looking to hire personal too, like coaches like me or people that are interested on getting back into the game and working in the front office or player development or video and anything, scouting, and there's a bunch of people here looking for personal.
And pretty much here it's you're moving up the ladder, right? You're starting here and you're always trying to get ahead of the game. So that's why, you know, the networking and communicating with a lot of personalities are here, obviously today and through Wednesday. Can you talk a little bit about your experience and what you've done? Obviously you played and you coached and mentored a lot of players. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I started my career back in 1991. I got drafted in 1990 from Puerto Rico. I have a career of 20 years professionally, but I got to the big leagues in 2000, in the year 2000. After 10 years in the minor leagues, and I was fortunate to be able to play 5 years in the big league from 2000 to 2004. And I continued my career. I went to Taiwan, I went to Mexico, Canada, and some independent leagues until I became a coach in 2011. I became a mentor for a superstar player named Miguel Cabrera for 2 seasons. Then I coached with the Red Sox in the minor leagues, hitting coach with the Royals and San Diego Padres for 4 years, till 2020. And the most recently I was in Korea last year for a few months building a hitting and a fielding program for one of the KBO teams that is the major leagues of it.
And as far as you being a hitting coach, I see that you work with, you know, with kids from, you know, youth kids, obviously all the way to guys that are, you know, in the big leagues now, some great superstar names. As far as being a hitter, what do you think is the difference as far as from a youth swing to a major league swing? Because obviously you're facing pitches and pitchers that are better and know what they're doing, but I think it's a little different. It's a little bit as far as someone who's 10, 11 years old. You don't want to go too much into depth, obviously, but coming from, you know, a major leaguer, you want to be able to, you know, clear their mind, and it's more of a mindset than anything. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between the ages and hitting in general?
Well, you kind of hit the nail right there. It's more not a mental and your body. You grow, the older you get, the stronger you get, but everybody else is getting stronger too, so you need to get better. At the younger age, you don't want to, you want to give them the information even though they won't understand it exactly, but eventually they will, so you kind of let them know what you're doing, how you're doing, and why you're doing it. So you kind of implement a little base on it, and you go through the basics. You go through the, you know, kind of fixing their feet, where they should be positioning, where they position their hands, kind of getting into a nice posture, athletic position, and from there, that's all the basics, and start working on your swing. And what I like to do, other than explain those basic little things, I like to use different tools like bat tools or doing more external things that they can try to perform, which is working on what I'm trying for them to get to. Because if we talk too much on the younger age, they can get lost very quick. So you just implement some drills that it will they just need to swing the bat and try to do it right, like keeping their balance or swinging a heavier bat, lighter bat, which their body will auto-organize to adjust to swing those different tools.
How do you think, as far as pitch recognition at the major league level and the minor league level is? I mean, obviously, because that's a whole different ballgame when you come from a hitting side. As far as high school, college, you get to minor league ball, professional ball. The pitch recognition for a hitter is probably what you need to have first before you swing. Do you agree with that, or what do you? How would you train a hitter as far as recognizing pitches?
Well, it has to do a lot with your mechanic because you have to have a good base on every pitch. You have to have a set of mind that if they throw you a breaking pitch, you are able to decelerate your mechanic and then to accelerate again. So it comes with a lot with experience, and the more pitches you see, the more information you're recollecting. So that's why in baseball, you go through so many levels. So you keep learning and seeing the difference on pitching, and the higher you get, the better the pitching get. And it's not like you're gonna get every time with 2 balls, 0 strike, a fastball. Now people start mixing up pitches, and even your first pitch could be a breaking pitch, and little things like that. You have to have a plan, and I always, like to advise the player to wait for a strike, especially for a strike and a fastball. So be ready for a strike and a fastball, and then you deciding what the pitcher will help you decide what you want to do. If it's not a strike, then you take, but you have to go to the plate with the swing mode in your mind, ready to hit.
Now that's awesome stuff as far as from hitting, because it's different from you to the big leagues. Now talking about more or less the big leagues and being a mentor, because you obviously played the game, you had your time in the big leagues and moving up the ladder and being a mentor. How important is it to have a clear mind, a good mindset, and pretty much just doing everything day by day? Because once your mind gets out of the game or is somewhere else, it's going to be hard.
You have to learn how to, in baseball, as a hitter, you have to learn how to deal with failure. This is something very important. If you can't deal with that, you won't be able to play the game, because you're going to fail more than you're going to hit in this game. And you have to learn how to recover and get to turn the page. You have to turn the page. It's really tough, and I think a lot of people lose their career because they cannot handle the pressure of failing. And in baseball, it's a game of failure in the hitting department. Because even if you are a 300 hitter that is, it's really good, you still missing 7 times. So you have to learn how to deal with failure. It's very, very, very tough. Learn how to turn the page, and about the mind and body connection, that's something really important too, because if you're not relaxed, you won't be able to hit either. It's like pressing the gas and the brake at the same time. So you need to connect that body and mind connection to be able to swing fluently the ball.
And learn how to let stuff go.
Yes, less is more. And go through the process. You have to learn how to get through the process. Even when you struggle, the toughest part is to keep controlling your body to stay through the process.
Yeah, it's a short-term memory loss, you like to call it, man. At the same time, when you're struggling, you gotta learn how to stay calm, but it's hard. It's hard to obviously
it's very
do that. Now, moving forward, back since we are here at the winter meetings, what's the main importance as far as me being an agent? What's the biggest thing? And you obviously had an agent at one point in your career. What's the biggest asset that an agent can have for a player? What is a player looking for in his agent?
A player, wants someone to help you grow, help you kind of like being on your side, hear good things. Sometimes you have to really spoil the player to be when you're an agent, and just deliver. You want to be honest, but not so brutally honest. You need to be careful what you say, because baseball players as myself, where it could be very sensitive.
Right.
So you gotta, you know, you gotta be straight, but you have to know how to deliver the message.
Yeah. And being honest, obviously.
And being honest, try to be honest, but have to find a way to deliver the message. But you have to be careful how you deliver that message.
As far as for prospects that are going through the amateur, this year or the following years to come, their prospects and their names out on the board. What are ways where they can stay disciplined and consistent on their goal? Because obviously, once you're a college player or high school player, and you get that awareness where you're attracting scouts and you're attracting more noise and value. How is it? Because you can easily get out of that energy. What are some ways where those guys can stay right on track and just put one foot in front of the other and let everything happen itself?
Just keep doing what you're doing. That's why they came to watch you.
Right.
But you gotta keep the good attitude, because one little bad thing you do, like especially not playing, not necessarily have to be playing, making errors or striking out, but you gotta go out there hustling in and out and show good attitude, because I'm sure scouts, like agents, but scouts especially, they want to see a player struggle, to see how they behave when they struggle, because when you're doing well, everything is it's very nice, but when you don't, they want to see that attitude too. That's when the demos comes out.
And speaking of scouts, I've talked to a few here, today. As far as they look for personality, can you talk a little bit about chemistry and personality, how they treat their players, how they treat mom and dad back home? Obviously nowadays they want to know everything. Right?
Yeah.
It's an investment. Can you talk a little bit about maybe some ways where these guys can elevate their game, not only on the prospect side, but elevate as far as how to be a good person?
Yeah, they taking you away from your home to another family, basically, to the baseball family. So they want something to bring good energy, good positivity, be positive, like they don't want someone to be the bad apple to mess up the whole group. If you're becoming that guy, they're gonna catch you real quick. Especially nowadays, they know a lot about you through social media.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful what you're posting, because it's very easy to post something that someone don't like, and it's a red flag. So you gotta be careful out there, and not careful to do something by hiding, because anyway some things will come out. It's who you are. You just gotta have some self-control in what things that look good but they're not good for you. So you gotta be careful what you're doing out there.
Yeah, and real quick, Raul, before we kind of wrap it up, I know there's a lot kind of going on here, but for youth kids, and I know you coach a lot of youth kids too, can you talk a little bit about how important it is for parents to be supportive of their kids during this process of them growing up and trying to be a really, really good baseball player?
Yeah, a lot of parents, we all want the best for our kids, so sometimes they push them very hard, and they call it, when the kids quit, they call it, oh, they got burned out, but they don't really get burned out. It's like their parents sometimes are pushing something that the kid don't really want to do. So as a parent, maybe you wait for your kid till he asks you to do stuff. If you keep pushing them like too hard, sometimes they're gonna end up quitting, and they're doing it for you, not for themselves. So we were talking about that the other day with some friends, and we were in a baseball coaches clinic talking about that, because some parents brought that up, and I look back at my situation, and all I have in my mind with baseball, I was never complaining about going to the bar, about practicing, about playing wiffle ball outside. I felt like I was doing baseball all the time. So it's something that is on you, and you like it, and you can see it, you like it. It's up to you, and you just gotta support what your kid wants, not pressuring to do that. You're showing the way, and and let's see what they take out of it.
Yeah. Well, either way, man, I really do appreciate you spending the time to be here with me.
Thank you.
Thank you for being supportive, and hopefully you can come down to San Antonio one day and talk to the community down there and see what you have to preach for those guys.
All right.
So, but there you guys have it, live from the winter meeting. That's a wrap.